What's up, everyone? Leonard Pope here. Again, Man Talk. Today, we're going to talk about being formed. Um, what does it mean to be formed? You know, the Bible says in Genesis, God said, "Let there be" to everything. But when it came to man, He said, "Let us make man in our image and our likeness." And He took from the dust of the clay and He formed man. Before He breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, He formed him. And it's interesting when we talk about being formed. Um, it's what's forming that adds value to a thing. To be formed means to add value to it. For instance, if you take a coin, you take a coin, a typical coin, and the coin in its just plain metal form has no value. You can cut it into a diameter of any size. You can make it out of different materials, but it has no value. It has no value until you put a stamp into the coin and put an image into the coin. And that is what the difference between no value and value is, the image that is placed in the material. And for man, if you want to be formed, you're going to have to deal with pressure. The stamping is what brings the pressure, and the pressure is what forms the man. Certainly, it's the pressure. If you give in to the pressure, it can destroy you. But if you push back, you allow the pressure to form in you, to compress you, to form you. The value comes in the pressure. The value comes in the forming. Certainly, we all deal with a lot of things in life, and you can't give in to the pressure. Like I said, it will destroy you. The pressure is there to form you, to create you, to get out of you actually what God intended for His purpose to be in you. And we all deal with situations, we all deal with circumstances, but it's that pressure. You can't give up at the sign of pressure. You can't give up at the sight of things not going your way. You can't give up at the any obstacle that comes your way. It's not designed for you to give up. It's designed for you to persevere. It's designed for you to move forward. It's designed for you to keep going and not succumb to the pressure, not succumb to the obstacle, not succumb to the situation. Everyone has a story, and every story is not glowing. Every story is not really a good one. You know, we've all had situations potentially in our lives where we felt like we were victims, and sometimes we actually were victims. But you can't allow these situations and these circumstances to give you a green light to give up on life. That's not there for you to give up on life. It is there for you to push forward and say, in spite of what I've been through, in spite of what I'm dealing with, in spite of the adverse conditions, in spite of the situation, in spite of being told no, in spite of not finding a job, in spite of having a felony on my record. So it is what it is, and that doesn't give me an out clause in life to turn my back on life and say, okay, I didn't have my father, so therefore I'm excused from being a father, even though I have kids. Well, I didn't have my family around me, so that excused me from being around my family, even though I have wife and family and stuff around me. There's no out clause. There's no out clause. And even as we now beginning to see the success of women in corporate America and business and different areas of life, that doesn't excuse the man from being the man. You still have to do what you're called to do. You still have to function in your role. You still have to function in your capacity, irregardless of how successful the woman is. And you can't go look for a woman that has success and think that, okay, this gives me the opportunity to be a kid. No, you still have to be a man. And you still have to allow the pressure of life to form you. You can't run from it. You can't hide from it. You can't shield yourself from it. If you're going to be a man, you're going to have to deal with the pressure. It is the only way that you're going to be formed. And you're going to have obstacles. We all have them. You're going to have trials. You're going to have frustrations. You're going to have irritations. We all have them. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. You're going to be up. You're going to be down. We all go through it. But the key in it is that we understand that this is just a time, an interval in time, if you will. And you don't want to make a permanent decision about a temporary situation. You're going through a time, but you have to go through it. But you don't want to make a permanent decision. Or should I say, you don't want to build a house where you should pitch a tent. In other words, you don't want to stay there. You don't want to live there. You don't want to say, this is the point where everything stopped for me. No, no. You want to keep living. Keep living. Keep moving forward. Keep trying. Whatever you've dealt with, whatever you've fallen away, or you've fallen to the side, or things didn't work out, or there's some failures in your past. There could be potentially failures in your future. But you know what? You can't let that stop you. You can't let those things get the best of you. You have to move forward, because it's the adverse conditions that become the pressure in life that forms you. Because certainly we can't do anything about what happens to us on the outside, but we certainly can do something about what happens to us on the inside. And we may not be able to change our situation externally, but we can change our perspective about our situation internally. And say, so you don't want to look at it as a failure, but you want to look at it as an opportunity to do better, as an opportunity to get better. And wherever there's been an obstacle, a roadblock, then you just find another way. Honestly and integriously find another way. There is another way. There's always a way. There's always a way. And you don't have to sacrifice your integrity. You don't have to sacrifice your character. You don't have to stand on anyone else's chest. You don't have to blame anyone. You don't have to use anyone. You don't have to do something sleazy to make it easy. All you have to do is maintain your integrity and do the right thing, because it's the right thing to do. And keep moving forward. And understand that I have to figure this out. The answer is there. You just have to figure it out. And you can't give up. You can't give up, man. You can't give up. Let me say this. The enemy has always been after the man. He has always been after the man. And anytime you give up, you give him power. Power over you. Power over your stuff. Power over your substance. Power over your family. Power over anything that's under your auspice, under your reach, under your control. You give him power over it. And he has a threefold purpose: steal, kill, destroy. That's it. So you know exactly what he came to do. And if you give him power, ultimately his mode of operation is not just for you to give up. It's to ultimately destroy you. That's it. You know, giving up may be the beginning. That may just be the start. But his ultimate goal is to destroy you and everything that's connected to you. Everything that pertains to you. Everything that comes out of you. His ultimate goal is to destroy you. And you can't succumb to that. You have to understand what you're up against. You know, and you can't think that maybe it's not me. It's not going to happen to me. I can tell you, man, trust me. If you give up, it's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to you. So I came to encourage you. Keep fighting. Keep fighting the good fight. You know, if you had a down day, okay, that's today. Tomorrow's another day. Another opportunity to do something great. Another opportunity to be great. Keep going. Keep going, whatever you're dealing with. And then even if you've had success, if better is possible, then good is not enough. You can do better. Go forth with the spirit of excellence. Do the right thing. Continue to move forward. And what's ever wrong, make it right. And keep moving. You don't have time to sit around and cry about yesterday. Nor do you have to keep going back and forth, rehearsing the same old problems over and over again. Move up the road. You have to get up the road. Because your adversary, the enemy, he's coming in like a roaring lion. And he's subtle. And he's coming after you. You have to get up the road. Keep moving. God never used anyone who wasn't doing anything. He never used anyone who wasn't doing anything. So get busy. Doing something. Doing the right thing. Doing the right thing. You know, there's a ton of things out here can be done. And you don't have to go through corporate America to get it. You don't have to go through corporate America to get it. So you say, well, I had a felony on my record that nobody hired me. No excuse. If you can't find a job, then maybe it's time for you to create one. But you can't use that as an out clause to sit back and do nothing. You can't use that as an out clause to go back into your old ways. You can't use that as an out clause to go back doing something illegal and justify your behavior like, well, it was a lot of pressure, it was frustration. What was I supposed to do? You were supposed to find another way. That's what you were supposed to do. And sometimes, not sometimes, but all the time, doing something illegal and immoral, that's not an option. That's not an option. There's an end to that. And it's not going to be pleasant. It's not going to be pretty. And you're not going to like it. So stay away from that. And I don't need to just iron that out. I don't need to expound on that. We're grown men. You know when something that you're doing is not right. You don't need me to come in or anyone else to come in and tell you it's wrong. You already know it. So what's wrong? Make it right. Just make it right. And keep moving forward. But don't let the issues and obstacles of life knock you down and then you stay down. We've all been knocked down. We've all been knocked down. But that's no excuse to stay down. You get back up. And you keep going. And you be encouraged. Hey, I'm here for you. I'm here with you. Man, if you understood what God placed in you, you will understand the value that you have. And you'll understand that knocking you down is just makes you mad. So when you get up, you're going to be that much more fervent about being successful. You're going to be that much more fervent about getting it done. You'll have that much zeal towards doing the right thing and getting it done and making your life pleasant and doing whatever you have to do to honor God, to honor your family, and have integrity within your body. So I'm here to encourage you. Hey, Doc, we in this fight together, man. We're in this fight together. And no matter how you slice it, we have to have each other's back. And I don't care what you're going through. I don't care what you're dealing with. We can do better. And I'm here. I'm here to talk to you. I'm here to pray with you if that's what you want. Hey, I'll pray with you. I'll talk to you. And whatever we have to do to get you up the road, to encourage you, to inspire you, to maximize your potential, this is what we're going to do. Until next time, another edition of Man Talk. Hey, if you like what you hear, or even if you don't, chime in, leave a message, comments, concerns, or if you have a personal issue you want to talk to me about, just inbox me. And that'll just be between us. But until we meet again, God bless. Peace.